All right, for kickboxers, I wanted to, actually for martial arts students too, it'll work. I want to talk about safety when you're throwing hooks. Sometimes people will hurt their wrist, they'll jack their wrist up when they're throwing hooks. So the primary purpose of this is to address close quarter hooks, close to the bag hooks. But I will say this quickly, if you're throwing a hook from far away from the bag, what happens sometimes is people will try to have their palm facing them, like this. But in order to hit the bag flush, which people want to do, we instinctively want to hit flush, right? Now this is not flush, as you can see. You want to hit with the entire face of your fist. In order for people to do that from far away, they'll turn their wrist like this so that it hits flush. But the problem with that is that it bends your wrist. So two rules when you're throwing a hook for safety. One, you want think flush and straight. I think poker. You want flush and you want straight, meaning you want to land flush, but you also want to make sure you have a straight wrist. And if you don't have those two things, then you can hurt your wrist. So from far away, what you'll tend to do if you want to hit it from far away is turn your palm down more, or even rotate it a little extra. Whenever you're throwing hooks from far away, always start light and play with the rotation of your fist to make sure, yes, my wrist is straight for this one. It's straight and it feels solid before you start punching hard. But for close hooks, which I recommend you throw close hooks the majority of the time when you're throwing hooks, because they're combatively, they're harder to see coming, they're not as telegraphic. Hooks are really great for close range fighting. So what you're going to do is instead of being out here at arm's distance, you're going to be at this distance. We'll call this like T-Rex distance, right? So I can touch my fingers here. This is a great range for throwing hooks. Now, what I want to say, and this is a big part of it, is we want our fist to land flush, right? So let's say I'm throwing a liver shot over here. What I want you to do is, without any gloves on, get close enough to the bag for that T-Rex distance. Now, put your fist flush on the bag. Now, we're not going to turn it down here. It's going to turn more up. Put it flush on the bag. Now make sure your wrist is straight. Your elbow is going to be right behind it. So that's how you want it to land. Now stay right there, and now just rotate out and slowly come in and make sure, yes, my wrist is straight and my fist is hitting flush. So establish where the structure that you want right here without any gloves, without any punching. I'm flush and my wrist is straight. And then just play with that. So I've got the structure is the same here. The elbow is behind the fist. And just do that. Get used to, yes, this is the position of my arm when I land a close quarter left hook in this case. What if I want it to be up higher? Same thing. First, start and make sure that your fist is flush. Make sure your wrist is straight. By the way, if I move away from the bag and do this, my wrist bends. That's why I say get closer so that you've got flush, straight, and your elbow is behind the punch. That's my structure. Now just play with that and get used to, yes, this is the position of my fist, of my arm when I hit with the hook. And I'm hitting it light. And I won't hit it hard until I have this down and you feel like, okay, yes, my structure is solid, my wrist is straight. Okay, so again, take some time before a class. Come on a bag. Get your distance. Make sure you got a 90-degree angle on your arm, flush on the fist, straight wrist, elbow right behind it. And be careful for this. For a close quarter hook, your palm is going to be facing you like this. If I move farther away and try to do that, that's when your wrist is going to bend. So be careful of that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask anytime. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about how to throw hooks safely. Major on close quarter hooks, and make sure the fist is flush and the wrist is straight. All right? Thanks a lot.